being able to watch. So here we go. Okay. Number 12, did we finish number 1 or did we just set it up? Or letter A of number 12, did we finish it or just set it up?
We finished it.
Set it up?
Oh.
Okay, perfect. So if I tell you that M is the midpoint, and I give you another point, we need to find the second point that we're missing. Essentially, I'm giving you A and M, and I need us to find B. So the one that we set up yesterday said A was 5,1, and M was 6,2. And so we need to define this XY over here. We remember that the midpoint formula was something like X comma Y equals X1 plus X2 over 2, Y1 plus Y2 over 2. Can they see blue? Not great. We'll try a little darker. And then we can sub in. So we can substitute in for M. I've got 6 and 2. And then for A, I'm going to plug that in for X1 and Y1. And I have 5 and 1. Then what we did yesterday is we separated it. So I put my X's equal to each other. 6 equals 5 plus X2 over 2. And then I did my Y's. 2 equals 1 plus Y2 over 2. Then we can solve. I've got 2 in the denominator, multiply by 2 on both sides. 12 equals 5 plus X2 minus 5. 7 equals X2. Same thing with the Y's, multiply by 2 on both sides. 4 equals 1 plus Y2 minus 1. 3 equals Y2. So my final answer, I do want to write as an ordered pair, would be 7, 3. Okay. Can you try letter B while I set it up? As you're working through it, check what I have, see how it relates to what you have. How are we doing? Good? Not too bad, right? Okay. Let's do 6 and 11. So we're still on P2. I just skipped around yesterday because I felt like it. We're going to go back to number 6. It says find the area and perimeter. This is not harder than anything. I just didn't feel like doing this longer problem yesterday. I thought it was better to get more concepts in. If we're finding area and perimeter of a figure, so A is at -5, 3, B is at 0, -1, and C is at 4, 4. let's just kind of sketch this shape out. 4, 4 is about here, that's C. 0, negative 1 is about here for B, and then negative 5, positive 3 is up here, a little lower for A. All right, let's solve this. We're going to find the perimeter. What does perimeter mean? We're going to add all the sides. How can I figure out what this side length is? Distance. We're going to distance it up. So we've got to do the distance of AB. We have to do the distance of BC. And then we have to do the distance of AC. Now, we've got a team in here, so let's split up the work. If you get done early, I expect you to try one of the other ones. You column are in charge of AB. Michael, you're in that column. Middle column, you guys are in charge of BC. Far column, you guys are in charge of AC. You guys have to find your distance. Once you find it, check with your neighbor, make sure that you guys are doing it all right on your side, because I'm trusting you.
6A, right?
6A. Mm-hmm. You gotta check with the person next to you, see if that's what they got. All right. This side, what do you guys get? For AB. Square root of 41. That's what I got for AB. Middle guys, what do we get for BC?
Square root of 41.
Square root of 41. Far side, what do you guys get for AC?
Square root of 82.
Square root of 82. Awesome. So if I'm going to do the perimeter, I'm just going to add them up. Root 41 plus root 82 plus root 41. Ooh, how do I do that? What can I combine?
41.
The 41s? Root 41 plus root 41 is 2 root 41. And can I add root 82 to that?
No.
Nope, not the same at all. This is it. That's the answer. All right, in order to find the area, I think we need to label our picture. So I've got root 41. BC is also root 41. Obviously, this isn't drawn to scale. If these are the same, they definitely don't look the same on my picture. And then AC is root 82. I'm going to throw it like way far back to geometry. Yeah, Ava's like, what?
That wasn't good.
I'm going to argue I have a right triangle here. Does anyone know why?
Because of the same.
I'm going to argue it's a 45, 45, 90 triangle here. Can anyone tell me why?
Isosceles triangle.
These guys are the same. And then, do you remember in our special right triangle, 45, 45, 90, how I get from the leg to the hypotenuse? I multiply by
2.
root 2. What's root 41 times root 2? When I do area is the same thing as 1/2 base times height. At first I was like, oh, we're not gonna be able to do this because I don't wanna figure out what my, height is in this triangle. If I have a right triangle, my base and my height are the two legs that make the right angle. So I'm gonna do 1/2 times root 41 times root 41. Root 41 times root 41 is just 41. Since they're the same, they cancel the square roots out because if I multiply them together, it would be 41 squared, and then square root of 41 squared is just 41. And then 1/2 of 41, I don't have a calculator, so I'm just going to leave it as 41 over 2, but we could divide that and be, I think, 20.5. I don't know if I did that right in my head. All right, that's the area and the perimeter. Let's do one more. We got to do this next one is not just a triangle, it's a quadrilateral of some kind. Let's do it this way now. First row, you guys do AB. Second row, you guys do BC. Third row, you guys do CD. And last row, you guys do AD. And Michael, you can do whatever makes you happy. So we're going to split up the work because I don't have time to just do distance all day. So we're still in number 6. We're just on letter B.
Oh,
All right, who found AB? You think what? I just did 5. 5, me too, that's what I think. BC, what'd you guys get? 6, that's what I got. Hint, I got all whole numbers for these. CD, what'd you guys get? 5, me too. And AD or DA, what'd you guys get? AD? 6. Sometimes we get ugly numbers, sometimes we get pretty ones. If we were to sketch this out, we would see that it lines up to a nice little square. -2, 1, -2, 6, or not a square, rectangle. 4, 6, 4, 1. Nice and easy. So what should my perimeter be? 5 plus 6 plus 5 plus 6. 22. And then area, what's my area going to be? What's area of a square like that, or rectangle?
5 times 6.
5 times 6. Length times width is 30. It's not too bad, is it? All right, so I just skipped this yesterday because, again, I wanted to get more topics. This is nothing new we learned. The only concepts we used here were distance, 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 and then our old knowledge of perimeter and area. Okay, let's flip our page over. Let's go to number 11. This is also, I'm going to argue, not necessarily new stuff. Just thought about in a different way. All right, it says write the equation of a circle whose diameter has the following endpoints. So we're finding the equation of a circle, and its endpoints are at 3, -6, and 4, 0. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to draw a circle. Draw a circle. Draw a diameter. What does a diameter mean? What does that mean? A what? I'm sorry, I cannot hear. One side to the other, what does it pass through? The center. It goes right through the center, and then how much is this from the center to the end of the diameter? The radius. Essentially, the diameter goes from one end of the circle to the other, but it's the biggest distance from one end of the circle to the other. So we need to remember it's the biggest distance. Don't get too comfy, guys. I know it's hot in here. I know. Okay, so we have these points. We have 3, -6, and I have 4, 0. Okay, can we find the center? What would that be? What's another name for the center? Midpoint. Find the midpoint. You want to find the midpoint of AB. So I'm going to do the x's added together. 3 + 4/2, comma, the y's added together. 0 + -6/2. 7/2, -6/2, 7/2, and -3. Okay. Now we want to find the radius. We can do this one of 2 ways. Anyone have a thought on how we can find the radius? What formula am I going to use first off? Distance, right? We're going to have to use distance at some point because radius is like a length of something. So we're going to use distance. You can either do distance from the center to one of the outside points, or we can do distance of the entire diameter and divide it by 2. Whatever makes you happy. You can do it whatever way you want. Is there any way you want me to do it right now? From the center to the end point. So I would argue I would not do that this time because there's a decimal and I don't want to play decimals. So I would probably do this way from the whole length. Does that make sense? Again, not wrong either way. I just would rather go this way. So I'm going to do 4 - 3 squared plus 0 - -6 squared. Four minus 3 is 1. 0 minus -6 or +6 is 6 squared. 1 squared is 1. 6 squared is 36. We would divide that by 2. And you could either leave it like this or we could do a decimal version of it, which I don't know what it is off the top of my head. And I didn't bring my calculator. That works. Okay. Now let's put it in our equation. We learned our equation of the circle yesterday, right? Here's my center. Here's my rad, whatever you want to call it. And so we'll put it in the formula. X minus 7/2, or 3.5 if you're partial to decimals, plus y minus -3 or y plus 3 squared equals Square root of 37 over 2 squared. The only thing I want to simplify, Becca, so I did the whole diameter, and I only want the radius. If I simplify this, I'd have to square up everything, so it'd be 37 over 4, and then I could figure out what decimal that is. Okay? You're allowed to have something ugly over here. I also just don't have a calculator, so I'm not doing that out. Where are we going? Okay. Can we try the next one? Letter B?
Wait, so all we have to do is write the equation?
So we had to find midpoint first, and then distance, and then we just wrote it.
Okay.
So try it with your partners, write distance, find midpoint. You don't need to. You can solve for diameter and then divide that by 2.
Yeah, but that's what we're trying to get radius.
You try to get radius. The reason I didn't use the center last time is because it looked more confusing. I didn't feel like doing that. Okay.
Right.
Distance and midpoint. Distance and midpoint. Is anyone tennis who has to be dismissed early? Bye, Jack. Bye, Michael. Is anyone cross country who's going to have to leave shortly? Back up for the race. Ooh, this is a nice pretty midpoint. So I'm going to use this in just one of the endpoints in order to find my radius. So I'll probably use this one and this one. How are we doing with the center? How are we doing with the distance? Again, since I did from the midpoint to negative 2, 4, I didn't have to divide this by 2. I've already found this distance right here. Can someone help me put it in equation? Anybody help me?
Wait, what things did you plug into the distance?
I plugged this and the midpoint. So I already found the radius.
So it doesn't matter which one you use though?
Nope.
Please.
Yes,
What was that equation?
distance?
No, the other problem.
X minus
Yeah, what is that equation from?
the equation of a circle. We did it on number 8 and 9 yesterday. Yep. Someone help me? Yep, right?
X minus 3 squared
Awesome,
plus y minus 1 squared
awesome.
equals 34.
One more thing. Squared. Good. You need to square your root 34 or just write 34 without anything. Okay. Can you wait 2 seconds for me to give them new directions? Yes. Okay, so that was the end of P2. So P2 is due next time I see you. We might get back to these notes, but we're going to do something else first. I normally do quizzes on the last day of the week I see you. I did not tell you that because I forgot with all the COVID stuff. So what we're going to do is we are going to do an activity on ClassKick. You may use your neighbor. You may use your notes. You may not use Miss White. Okay? So I will need our iPads, and I'll put the code on the board for you to see. Uh-oh, I got a charger. Sometimes when we were online, I used ClassKick as a way for me to do in-class activities or assess. So I want to practice it while we're in the classroom in case you do need to use it at home. Friends at home, you can use your notes.
Why did you put 30.6?
Because I have to square it. It's coming. Yeah, is there a plug on that guy? No, here you go. Okay, so what I want you to do. You can plug it by your desk if that's easier.
For the purple equation,
Yep.
is 37 or more good?
Yes. Good. So you've got notes, you've got your ClassKick, you've got your friend. That's what you can use. The ClassKick code is. Do you guys have the app or have you used it before? Yeah. Okay. Write your first and last name just so I know who you are. And our code is Y4PNIG. I think that's it. And if it takes us the rest of class, takes us the rest of class. And if it doesn't, then we'll do some more notes. You can talk quietly. I would like us not yelling, but we can talk quietly, work with each other. Fill in the answers, make it nice and clear. Any questions, anybody?